After the shortest conclave in a century, the new Pope has been elected. The choice of Cardinal Robert Prevost was a surprise to most. So who exactly is this new Pope?
Just hours ago, the first ever American Pope introduced himself to the world.
La pace sia con tutti voi.
The world now asking, just who is this new pontiff? We know he's a Leo, specifically Leo XIV, his name a tribute to Leo XIII, the Pope who steered the Church into the 20th century amid a period of change.
Leo XIII was the one who started the Catholic social justice movement in the Catholic Church. And so I think that's a signal.
Born in Chicago in 1955, Robert Prevost earned a bachelor's degree in mathematics before receiving his diploma in theology, making him an expert in both sin and sign. That's a maths joke.
I think he's a very intelligent person. I think he's very well read, but he's never lost the pastoral touch. He really knows how to connect with people.
At age 30, he moved to Peru to work as a missionary, becoming a pastor and teacher in the country's northwest. He became a close confidant of Pope Francis, who would later ordain Prevost as a cardinal.
But I am American, and I think I do have some insights into the Church in the United States.
Prevost's ascendancy was as much a surprise to his family as the rest of the world. His brother learned the news at the same time as everyone else.
My wife called and said, white smoke, white smoke. So I turned the TV on, and when the Cardinal came out and we were all waiting and he mentioned Roberto, I knew right away.
There were celebrations across both Peru and the US, though Americans immediately dug into his personal politics, discovering he had voted in both Democratic and Republican primaries. But a Twitter account suspected to belong to him appeared critical of the new administration.
J.D. Vance is wrong. Jesus doesn't ask us to rank our love for others.
But a more crucial question of partisanship for his Chicago hometown: does he support the Cubs or the White Sox? Wrigley Field immediately put up a sign claiming him as their own.
Hey, Chicago, he's a Cubs fan.
But his family say they jumped the gun.
Yeah, he was never, ever a Cubs fan, so I don't know where that came from. He was always a Sox fan.
But above politics and sport, there is one factor that could inform his papacy above all others. Leo XIV isn't just the first American pope, he's also the first Augustinian, an order within the Church that follows the rule of St. Augustine, devoted to community and service to others. So how will this worldview inform the future of the Catholic Church?
Well, Father Peter Jones is the Prior Provincial of the Order of St. Augustine for Australia. Father, because you're both Augustinians, was he your number one pick?
We try not to be tribal. What's important is that in the Pope's address this morning, that those clear themes for me emerged, that he talked about peace, he talked about building bridges, he talked about dialogue, and those qualities are deeply embedded in his person. They didn't just begin today. Certainly those of us who have known him for some time, he is that person who values human relationships, friendship, respecting the dignity of other people, and a sense of working for what is just and right in fairness to all.
So, Father, you have crossed paths with the new Pope before?
Yes, and many of us in the Order have. From a personal point of view, I lived in the same community with him as a student in the 1980s, but then later on he was leader of our Order internationally, and he always placed great importance on getting to know each of the members of the Order and communities in the many countries where we're present.
So when you're hanging out with him, are you then chatting to your mates going, he seems like someone who could be the Pope?
I suppose it never entered my mind, but granted that it happened today, I'm just filled with gratitude because the qualities of the human being, they will be the same qualities that will characterise him in his role as Pope Leo. But he wasn't one of the most mentioned names, so we were taken by surprise today. But certainly we can see that it makes sense in terms of who he is.
What is it like when this type of announcement comes through, Father? Is it like a viewing party? Do you have your clergy and you're all sitting around watching for the smoke?
Well, what you've got to remember, this happened at 2 o'clock in the morning, Australian time. So I just happened to have the radio on that hour, and all of a sudden at 2:07 this morning, the white smoke. So obviously I kept the radio on, and then 3:14, this surprising announcement. Then I very quickly tried to wake up others in the house, and some of us watched him come out on the balcony at 3, shortly after that.
Father Peter Jones, thanks so much for your time.
Thank you very much.